Hey, what's popular, everybody? Friday morning vlog. Welcome back to Brave's Toy Review. I am the well-dressed nerd, Brave. And today we're taking a look at the SHFiguarts Street Fighter V Chun Li. Yes, nice. All right, real quick, for anybody that can tell me why on the packaging it says, can I get it right there? Yeah. Blue Jade will win something. Hit the comments down below. Let me know what the Street Fighter history is on that Blue Jade, and you will win something. Disclaimer, if you've already won something, you can't double dip and win something again. So please, let somebody else get a chance to win something, all right? Cool. Starting the review off with her in this kicking pose. Why? Because this has got to be the most perfectly balanced figure I have ever messed with by far. Now the SHFiguarts Ryu, he's pretty well balanced as well. He's pretty dope. If you haven't already seen my SHFiguarts versus Storm Collectibles Ryu video, go and check that out. Links down below for a nice comparison video of the two. But having said that, this chick right here takes the cake. Now I'm a little biased because one, it's a female figure. Two, I love female figures. And three, off the top, no point in even trying to pretend, this is my most favorite figure right now, period, just for me messing around with. That's just how good she is, okay? So this is the special power move accessory she comes with, right? Back here you'll see is a little notch. That notch is for this stand. It plugs in here, right? And it allows, if you can get it in, which I can't get it in, it allows for you to keep her up when she's doing the move. But again, I wanted to show you this because she doesn't need that stand. A little bit, because of the weight of this thing, it takes a little bit of maneuvering to center everything, but then she stands like a beast on her own with it. All right, that's insane. That is insane. That's got to be one of the largest selling points of this figure yet. Like, it little effort to stand her up. Like, perfectly balanced, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. Any pose, any one leg pose you want to put her on, she can do it, right? As a matter of fact, on the back of the packaging, it states, what is it? The Fighting Body series is based on concept of faithfully recreating techniques unique to hand-to-hand combat characters while I'm got my glasses on. Shut up. While integrating new gimmicks not found in the conventional SHFiguarts format. I'm going to stop it there. You can read the rest by yourself. But this is true. So anyone that's a fan of collecting Figuarts know that they take the scope very seriously of their figures. They're like, it's serious business for them, right? And in many cases, in many cases, their body sculpts are unique to the character that they are producing at that time, right? So you may have seen some of their the naked sculpt figures. Those are just like art studies into the human form, or the human form as it applies to action figures by SHFiguarts. Figma does it as well, but I think that Figuarts does a better job of doing those. So that's a lot of information I've given to you. You may be like, I don't need any information, Brave. And then you may be like, thank you, Brave. Thank you. Man, have another. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do with it what you will. Beautifully sculpted thighs. Right. And on the side, you get some Chun Li. Good job. That's the package. Whoop-de-doop-de-doo. Want to find about it. Let's take a look at this fighting accessory right quick. Just because I already had it out. It's the first thing on the list. So you put it on her by virtue of these pegs here and these holes here. Boy meets girl action, double penetration, right? So it plugs in and it just kind of fits right around her foot, and her foot fits in that space there. These little pieces here can disconnect because they're on tabs there. So you can disconnect each one of them and kind of just work with, maybe not this one right here, it doesn't look like. Yeah, not so much that last one. But you can disconnect those and you can stack them in any way you so choose for the effect that you want. And that's pretty cool. It's a pretty decent little gimmick. I'm not really big on using those things, but I guess it's pretty cool if you want to use it. So accessory-wise, she comes with three additional sets of hands and two additional heads you can put on her for different expressions. But above all, these two are my most favorite hands. Look at them thighs.
Look at them thighs.
To change out her face, unlike Ryu, whereas with him you unplug his, you take off this piece here, and then you pop off his head, right? And it's on that ball joint. Unlike Ryu, with Chun Li, it's more of a traditional deal, like with SHFiguarts and Figma, whereas you pop off the front face portion here. There's that old school SHFiguarts / Figma joint you may recognize, which is a hinge disc type deal with 2 pegs, one going into the neck, one going into the back of the head. While we're here, these little pom-pom things on the side of her head, they do spin, so they are articulated as well. Take the whichever head you would prefer to have on her. I'm gonna go with Meek and Sexy Chun Li. And it just plugs in via these this tab here in those same 2 ports. And it fits like a glove. So these joints here, they go about as far around as you can get until you kind of bump the ruffles into her head, right? But I think you can go all the way around if you so chose to. Head goes all the way around, obviously, because it's on a peg. Shoulders got a little bit of hampering of scope, but not so much that it kills the figure, because you have these 2 bits on the inside. You have these peg and ball joints go inside of a cup right here that slides on the inside of there, and it kind of telescopes. So you can extend it like that to get more range of motion there. And then you have that cup on the inside of this piece here, which is the puffy problem piece that makes it bump into everything. And no one has really made this. This has been the best version I've seen thus far. That's including the soda version, because you can get all the way up like that, and you can do that. So you can still get a pretty good range of motion there. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of maneuvering, but it's not something that's like as irritating or difficult as the Storm collectibles Ryu, right? Like getting his big arms up and down, whatever the case is. But yeah, it goes all the way up. It's on a kind of like a, I don't know, an elevating. I'm going to call it an elevating hinge. How about that? That's new. That's new articulation terminology brought to you by Brave. Wow. And then you have the upper body on a swivel here, because of that typical mushroom peg going up into the upper torso. This is a soft plastic piece here, and then you have the lower body. If you bring this all the way up, you can see down in there, you can see the mystery that is Chun Li's thighs and crotch, baby. So you got that ball joint piece there. It looks really weird, but it really does the job. And then it also swivels back and forth. Cool. This piece here is a softer plastic, but it's affixed to a harder piece of plastic inside of here, with the upper thighs, the upper thighs. I'm sorry. On this strange looking thing here, which is meant to resemble or meant to be that, I don't know what that fucking, the femur bone, I don't know what it is, inner thigh. How about that? And okay, so some of you might think it looks weird, but just really, if you really consider, like when you as a human being, you sit down and you try to go full Indian style, right? Which I think she actually can get because of those joints. It just looks a little awkward, right? Or you sit with the very wide pose, and because of those joints, she can get like all the way out there like that for the yakai. You know what I'm saying? You do have this line that goes from the groin area here to the inner thigh. I'm going to get that muscle, and I'm going to put it in the screen below so you can know that I'm smart and I know what it is, right? But that's on a swivel with a ball joint inside of a cup and a whole bunch of other stuff. Like the engineering of this figure is redonkulous. Look at that donk. Redonkulous, right? Because it actually achieves all of the movements that Chun Li is able to get in the video game without losing like the overall beauty of the figure, right? It's really dope. It's really dope. You got a hinge here with peg going in there, peg going in here, so you get a bit of a swivel right here. Not so much at that top portion of the calf. It's all by virtue of that. I mean, if you really work it, you could probably get it, but you don't really want to, because you see how it's fit inside of there. It's cut so that this hinge bit fits exactly inside of there, right? All right, cool. So if you bend it back, just like when I showed with the Ryu, On the inside of these hinges, there are like little metal caps that serve as the pin. I think that gives a little more fortitude, makes it a little bit stronger. You can see it much better on this side. There's the glow. When you got that glow, right? You feel the glow. You can also see it right here on this bit, and you can see it here on the toe pin, right? Speaking of which, you got this same hinge gimmick here, right here as well, and then you have a toe articulation bit there. No swiveling here, but you get it right there, so it's all good. Plus up here, right on the bicep, you have that standard SHFiguarts joint here that allows you to get that full curve. Ha! Right, and then you get as well the hinge and pegs going into the wrist, which brings you to changing out the hands. Just pop this off. This piece can come off, I do believe. I'm not really going to force it because it fits pretty well there. The way it dips allows us to sit right in place. I mean, I'm pretty sure with some work you can get it off, but why would you want to take it off? Don't break your stuff, man. So we're going to take this hand, which has got the hole right there. We're going to pop it on. Now, as you know, I am always terrified to change the hands out on female figures because those stems are so small. But this one changes with little problem, little issue. Good job. Chun Li is ready for battle. Right. Now, let's take a look at the overall scope and the color, texture, and other whatnots. So, beautiful blue, perfectly captures the video game. All over this bitch. Not calling her a bitch, but just all over this bitch. You know what I'm saying? You got the gold here, the nice little gold accents. Ah, nice. White up top here with some more gold right there. On that face. Now, this is where SHFiguarts, as well as Figma and most import figures, kind of cheat. Because in the case of, let's say, your favorite Marvel figure, right? Like this guy here. Face is painted. And even in the case of, let's say, Tony Stark, SHFiguarts as well, that's painted, right? Painted. So all the more realistic figures for SHFiguarts are typically painted faces, right? When you come to the anime-looking figures like this younger lady right here, those eyes are actually stamps. Yeah. There was a video that was released. Someone put it out there a while back where they took a trip to the SHFiguarts manufacturing plant factory in wherever the hell, China, Hong Kong, wherever the fuck is that. And they show you the whole process, right? And I never knew. I mean, I looked at it, I always thought, oh man, that's painted. That's really good. I never really realized that that's actually a stamp there. So yeah, there you go. That's how they kind of cheat with it. I mean, it's not really cheating. I mean, it's a part of their manufacturing. But I mean, while other people are like breaking their neck trying to paint something, they're actually doing the stamp. So a little bit of paint there on the lips, which is fine. Now you can't say they can't. You can't say they can't freaking paint because there you go. Paint. There's your example of how they actually can paint. So it's not like they're doing something they can't do. You know, they're trying to get over it or some shit. They actually can do it. So they did. Right. All right. Moving down the body, again, we come to those beautiful thighs and beautifully sculpted thighs and quads on Chun Li, and some really nice airbrush detail all along there that really makes those quads pop. Go around the back, makes those glutes pop. Yuck, tight. Take a look at them quads, man. They're just popping off real tight, right? Nice color. I think it's like a rose red skin color. I don't know, like stocking type thing, whatever. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a professional Chun Li, which I am a kind of a professional Chun Li judger of leg thigh tights, and say that they are tights. Skin color, and then you come down to the boots here. And on the boots, it's not really any paint on the boots or anything like that. Just sculpted detail all through. But with so much work that was done so well on the rest of the figure, I can kind of I can forgive them for it, right? Again, this is not swivel here. The lacing detail is really nice. The toe detail is really nice. Again, I bragged on the Ryu about how well they pulled off the toe articulation. I'm going to give the same deal for Chun Li. I just like the way it looks. It looks more realistic. But yeah, beyond all that, sorry, a little bit of white here, flesh tone there, black. These spikes are kind of hard. You can't hurt yourself on those. You can a little bit of detail in the hands, not overly crazy with the hands. I'm fine with that. She's not a majorly large figure, so we don't really need that. And you got little earrings right there, a little bit of white on the earrings and stuff. The hair sculpt is all right. It's pretty decent. Nothing above the rim, if you will. Like when you consider what they did with, say, the Black Widow with all the burns in there with the airbrush burns and all of that stuff. This is kind of played down, but this is an anime figure, so Video game, anime, same thing. So I wouldn't expect that level of detail on it, right? Okay, so that's all the technical stuff. We're past that now, because screw that shit. Let's get to the real fun. This fucking figure is fantabulous. Fantastic. You hear me? I'm saying like really fantastic. Like any move you want to make, like literally I just fuck around with it, dog. I'm just being real with you. I just fuck around with her on the regulars. On the regulars. Any move you want to put her in, she can actually do it. Like, hold on, let's see about this. We're going for a pose. Real time, people. Real time. Like I had her in like the fucking Kung Fu Master Snake move at one point. Let me see if I can get her there now. Excuse my wobbly stand. I got a new camera rig going on here. All right, there we go. Let's see about that. Can she make that one? Yep, there it is. It's fucking ridiculous, man. The level of posability, the level of balance with this figure is just off the chizane. Like, bar none, especially for the amount that you pay for this figure. I don't think you're going to get a figure that's better than this one. I'm sorry. Like, I've had the Soda. I have the, I still have the NECA, which is still a favorite of mine as well, but she just outdoes both of those with ease. SHFiguarts kills both of those with ease. Now, I know that Figma is planning on releasing some Street Fighters 2, where we're going to go with those. Who knows? We'll see, because Figma is generally the competition for Figuarts. They perform on a level as well that is top notch, baby. So we'll see where that goes. But as of right now, SHFiguarts is killing these motherfuckers. So some of you may take issue with the thick thighs. Beautifully sculpted thighs. So when NECA released their Chun Li back in the day, which is still my, it was one of my favorite Chun Lis. I favored it over. I preferred it over the Soda. The Soda was more, you know. You could do more. It was more flexible, I guess, more posable. You could do a lot more with it because of how slim she was. But that's what Chun Li's all about, the thick thighs. And these thighs, of course, they were extremely exaggerated. But to me, that's Chun Li right now. The problem with this figure was always this portion when you raised up back here. So to see SHFiguarts fix that problem with little ease, like beautifully sculpted thighs, with little effort, bro. They squared it away with little effort, and it's all right. It is just amazing. One of the other things that was cool about this NECA figure was she could do the high kick. It took a little bit of work, but she could do the high kick and be balanced too. And I always thought that was pretty amazing, right? But it's not like this where you could say you could put it out here and she can still stand up. Like, you have to do some serious work to get her to do that standing kick, right? It's not really going to happen. But with Chun Li, so with the greatest of ease, she's up and she's standing. So yeah, one of the better balanced figures. I don't know, you may have to look at this portion here and decide if that's a deterrence for you. I mean, if it makes a really big eyesore in your opinion, then it may not be something you want to go in on. You may want to hold out for the Figma version, but I'm telling you right now, this is the illest version. Now, I'll probably get the Figma version too, just so I can review it for you guys. Plus, you know, I'm a Figma fan, and more than anything, I'm a Chun Li fan. Hopefully they would do a different color version, but I'm pretty sure they're going to put this one out, probably the lighter blue or something. I don't know, but that's not this. This is this. I'm really partial to this figure here. Partial? Impartial? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. One of them words. I'm in for it though. Let's change out some hands right quick and just get a good feeling for the different hands she has. Now, of course, I am never a fan of the female fist. Dirty minds. Because it always seems to be too small for whatever figure it is. But ironically, this figure, the fists aren't really the smallest. So it's not too bad. I'm going to put a open palm on this hand so that way we can get a good look at both. Right? There we go. All right, let's change out some faces too. Let's change out the face again. Give her a ready to fight face. Yuck tight. I'm having too much fun. Like, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be just a straight up review, but I'm having way too much fun with this figure. I love this figure, dude. This is like, this is my fig right here. This is the one, like, walking around with it in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Now this face here, there's something weird about that face. I don't know if it's a matter of the lips, that supposed tongue area up inside of it. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem right. That one's a problem. So, I mean, the rest of the face is fine, but that mouth is, I don't know, something's off about it. I'm going to have to take a look at the game art for that face, for the yelling face, and see if that's correct, because it just doesn't seem right. I don't know. But, yeah, other than that, yeah, there we go. So we went through the faces, we went through the hands, the playability of the figure and the articulation. I'm gonna be real with you. There's not much more to even go through. You know, I mean, all these reviews are pretty much the same, right? It's good, these articulations, good, this color, blah, 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 blah. How about from this point out, we take pictures of Chun Li balancing on shit. This is Chun Li balancing on top of my iMac. Perfect balance. Notice the snake style. This is Chun Li bouncing on top of a decorative turtle in my living room, my coffee table. Perfect balance in front of my couch with my Doberman standing next to me. And this is Chun Li bouncing on top of this candle holding thing that someone gave my wife from her job for her anniversary for being at the job for however long. Perfectly balanced, and I couldn't get her on top of that thing because it's not even. It's a funny surface, but she's balanced on there. So shut up. Same thing. Chun Li being balanced on a encyclopedia medical dictionary being held by my son, who just got home from high school and just got finished eating, and he's ready to go to the bathroom, and she's still balanced. Look at that. Perfect. Chun Li with the Muay Thai knee on top of my Brinkman grill, gas burning. And here's Chun Li bouncing on this really big ass rock in my backyard that's been here so long. I don't know what it really came from or what the fuck it's for, but it's in here, and she's balancing. Just as I wanted to show you that she could do it on a unbalanced surface. Fucking perfectly balanced. Look at that. That's not smooth. That's not smooth. And she's facing impending doom that she was to fall. Fucking favorite figure, period. Hey, till next time. Out of here.
Chun Li.